Hello guys, welcome to my Tier 2 guide for Chaos Fields. As you know, this is a big step up from Tier 1, and I'll try and cover as much as I can in this video for you. I will separate basically the first part of this raid into two parts. There's going to be an upstairs group and a downstairs group. Now, if you're the downstairs group, I advise you to skip to the next part, which I'll list in the video below. And if you're Team 1, well, listen up, this is your part of the puzzles. So upstairs group, parkour group, you have the hardest job at the start. You are the cream of the crop. You are the elite of the group. Your job is what makes everyone else's life easier at the start. Now we have 3 lanes in set 1. Each of them are pretty much simple standalone jumps. So as you can see here, I jump at a diagonal because it's much easier than do straightforward. It's just safer. You can do it straightforward. It doesn't matter. Now, these switches activate platforms for the next section of each group. So Yondo's one on the far right. You can see his platforms just spawned, and that's because I clicked my switch. Now, switches in this mode have different ways of reacting. In some cases, they remove orange beams for a set period, 5 seconds. And other times, they create platforms, and other times, they create moving platforms. So you'll figure out in the sets which one the platforms do as you go. As you can see, the middle group's now doing theirs. So our artist will click his and it will activate my platforms. You see there's nothing there. He's clicked, bam, there we go, the last platform. Now the left side is the one that reaches the first system bomb at the end. Now the bombs at the end that we drop is what drops downstairs. So right now I'm going to say, hey group, downstairs, your bombs are about to come. And then we'll move on to the next puzzle. So this is puzzle 2. Now they start moving. As you can see here, there are 2 orange beams. You need left and right to click to activate it. And then those 2 guys will activate ours, and then we jump forward. So this one's revolving teamwork of pressing buttons to unlock the orange beams to let people through. As you hear me and Yondo go 3, 2, 1, we press, they jump forward. That was simple. Now set 3, this is probably the hardest one. This is the one that is going to make people struggle. Now, these blue beams do the same pattern every time. If you figure out a route, try and stick to that route. As you can see here, I jump sideways because sideways is far easier than backwards, in my opinion. See there, Plumcake jumped late and he got clipped by the one behind. That does happen. It's just delay. So when you click this switch, this is the switch that turns on the 3 platforms from the sides. Now I'm just waiting for the other players to come along because you can only do it once in a while. So here you go, me and Yondo. I tell him to take left and I'll take right. Now, as you can see here, we spawn 3 platforms. Now, these are the only 3 you'll get for this section. And you need to learn which is safe. So for me, it's the second and first platform. The first is the safe. And then the second one is the second platform is safe. And you can jump forward and skip the third. And again, second platform on the final one, you can jump forward. Now that is actually a lot harder than it looks, but you guys can do it. Now we both press switches at the same time to unlock the orange beams at the end. The other 2 people are waiting there to get through. Okay, now we're on set 4. This one is actually a lot easier than set 3 in my opinion. So me and Yondo are spamming the switches. If you can see here, we just spam clicking. This actually keeps them the orange beams down the entire time. As you can see there, Yondo accidentally forgot to click and it spawned them. But if you spam over and over and over, generally these orange beams are never going to be a problem, and it makes it easier for your jumpers. Now, your jumpers want to try and jump in a straight line across, but you'll need to learn to jump before the platform reaches you. And it's pretty much only need 1 person to complete this. So in this case, I think Amosa completes it. As you can see, you go right, left, and then right. So it's about, you're going to be doing about 30 jumps. See, there's orange beam to get across. Done. That was set 4. And that should be, if enough, finish downstairs. Now, it might not, if you miss a bomb downstairs, you might have to do set 5. So I've put in this guide to set 5. So this one's time gated. So everyone needs to perform here. 1 mistake and you have to go again. So when you click the purple transformation in the middle, it starts it. So we're waiting for the platforms to despawn to have a go again because we failed. See, there you go. It failed. We click. Now we go. So I need to press my one instant so they get across, and then Yondo does his, and then I have to get moving instantly because in the middle you can see the platforms are despawning behind them. It is, if one of us makes a mistake, we have to go again. That's just how it is. So we were rushing. You can see it's time gated, like but then they did it. Well done. That was the hardest one, and that is all the puzzles. Downstairs group. You're going to be split into 2 teams, left, right. Both jobs, keep your players alive. Use Engineer Resurrects in case some people die. But you're going to be killing the mobs. That's literally their duty. Now, see this giant pillar in the middle? It randomly throws out fire beams. So if you're standing near the middle, it can get a bit dicey. So you can see here, this little engineer. If you stand near the edge, you'll never get hit. Bombs will spawn that have time limits. You need to throw these out the door. You only have a certain amount that you can throw, and it's all based down to your parkour group upstairs. So when they finish a puzzle, they will tell you they spawn. Make sure the person carrying them doesn't get hit. You can use Ursa or something when doing it to make sure they don't drop the bombs. That's pretty much downstairs. You have 2 doors, kill them. As you can see there, we're on the final door, and this will transition to the next phase, which is the boss. So you've done phase 1. And you think that was already hard enough. Well, I'm sorry for you guys, but the hardest part we found was actually the boss. This guy was actually incredibly tough. And it will take a whole group effort. So when you spawn, it's pretty simple. Up till 50%, this boss is pretty simple. You just DPS. Now, he does moves that will knock you back, throw you around. Make sure you don't get knocked to the edge. Soon enough, the edge of the rooms will become full of fire. One of the issues that we had when we tested this boss is that people could not see the fire or see the fireballs. I suggest everyone to go into their settings, graphic settings, and make sure particle rendering is shown as view all. This stumped us for about an hour. We could not figure out why people could not see the fireballs or the stuff on the floor. Now, as you can see here, this is his pizza move. He alternates crashing down. So you see, I moved before into the danger zone and then into the safe zone. Pretty simple. That move you need to learn, otherwise you can get knocked into the fire. So soon enough, he's going to do a jump and he's going to knock you back. Again, talking about safety, one side is good, one side is bad. You can see here, you want to get pushing inside of the raid, not the outside. You can see someone got pushed out, they're dead. We lost a member. The hardest part of this fight was learning how to do the fireballs. Now, on screen in a moment, I am going to put the diagram that will show you where they spawn. But these fireballs is what makes and breaks this fight. Okay, so here's actually the hard part of the fight. During the transition, he spawns fireballs around this room. And every time you collect a fireball, you get a debuff. As you see above Cookie's head here, he has a 7-second debuff. If you take another fireball while you have that debuff, you take 200% more damage, which is around 3 million damage. So it's really quite tough. So we actually split our raid into 8 pairs, and every pair covered a quadrant. So it's about 16 players to soak the fireballs. Now, as you can see there, we let a fireball through. You only get 4 attempts to let fireballs through. If you let them through, the boss will instant wipe the raid. So you have to soak them. As you can see there, we successfully did it, but it is not easy. You need to rotate each time to soak. You can use things like Ursa, Toko, Splisher, stuff that just heals you. We've tried everything to try and remove the debuff. You cannot. Crab doesn't work. Toko, Splisher doesn't work. And as you can see, I die here because I failed on the knockback. See, I'm not perfect. The DPS in this raid does not matter. It really doesn't. You can do this with 8 mils, 9 mils, 7 mils. The boss really doesn't do much till transition. Transition is all that matters. And as you can see here, this is the second transition. Second one's even harder. I swear more balls spawn on this one. But you just cannot let these balls hit the boss. So you need to call out and say, look, guys, take one, please. Each take turns. Actually, we take 3 and we alternate. I have a guy called Red Doll and we're taking turns. Now, we end up letting one through here, and I actually take it for the team. As you can see there, I took 3 million damage. Sometimes it's better for one person to die and get rezzed than it is to let it go through, because that will wipe the raid. And I think I ended up dying to an explosion here. Yeah. Now you can use engineer reses to save the raid personal reses. You only get 5. So you want to save those for the engineers in your raid. Let them use it if they die. No one else use them. Just try and prioritize it. As you can see in the final phase, the pizza slice is now changed again. And the boss will do a charge. Now, his charge will actually leave fire debris behind him. As you can see that if you walk through that fire, it kills you. It ticks for like 2 mil damage a tick. So we patiently just had to wait until he finished. Other little things that you can do to make this raid easier: have 2 engineers in each party. Now, you can have even low-level ults. It doesn't matter. You basically just need to survive this raid. Your healers need to rotate their flash heals on the people soaking, use resurrections, and people use defensive pets. Again, DPS does not matter. And if you all survive past the second transition, it literally is a kill. As you can see here, we only have 8 people alive on our first kill, and it died.